Hi everyone, welcome to Traveling Misknits. My name is Pia and I am so happy that you're joining me here today, where it seems like I have a lot to talk about, but not an awful lot of time. I really wanted to record today. I am probably going to go through my projects relatively quickly, but if you're curious to hear more details about them, please come back and I'll of course share more about them later. But yeah, today I wanna thank you. I wanna say a deep felt thank you for all of your lovely messages, both here on Instagram, on Ravelry, each and every one of them. They brought a smile to my face and they brightened up my day. So thank you so much for all of those. Thank you for taking the time. Yeah, I have a finished object and that one, I mean, this has been quite the project. It's been going through some changes. It started out as just being coasters. These squares here, I worked those up as coasters, just only the circles, so I would end after the round of puff stitches. And I thought they're going to be perfect. For a cup, a glass. The puff stitches are going to go up around the edges of the glass. It's going to look beautiful. But then I decided to make them into squares, which is easy. You just manipulate the height of your stitches. So in the corners you go for treble crochets and on the sides you go for single crochets, and you make sure to do a smooth transition between the sides and the corners. That was really easy. My next problem was, how do I make these squares into a pillow? And first I thought I'm gonna make 9. I'm gonna put those together and then I'm gonna make a back side, just one big granny square. And I actually started doing that. And as I was working on the big granny for the back, I was like, no, I don't want this. No. Many reasons. It was just boring. I didn't want the back of my pillow to be boring because the pillows in our home, they get some use. They get thrown around. They don't just sit there and look pretty. So I wanted something that would look nice from both sides. Also, I didn't want something that was too big. So what I decided to do was make 16 squares. So it was a 4x4 square. And then I single crocheted a couple of rounds around that big square. And then I folded everything in on itself so that the 2 corners met here and the other 2 corners also met here. And I just seamed these 4 little seams. And I think it's beautiful and I love both sides. I'm actually not sure which one I like the most. This one, the big X is very, like, that's the feature of one side, and on the other side it's little grannies. So yeah, very happy with my pillow. It's gonna go in my cabin very soon when we go down there. I have been working on 2 projects and you've seen both of them before. One is Nissestrømpen, a pattern by the Danish designer Knitwear by Maki. This pattern does not come in English, but I will say if you can knit a sock, then you can get her pattern in Danish just to get the chart, because the chart is so cute. It's really cute. Originally, the sock is thought to have 2 repeats of the chart. I went for only 1. I don't like a sock that's too tall, and I wouldn't have the nisser going into my shoe. So I thought this was perfect for me. Also a lot easier. It's fiddly. When you're not a skilled sock knitter. It's fiddly to work color work on such small circumference. I did go for a 9-inch circulus for the color work, actually for the entire body of the sock. And I turned the sock inside out. I showed that on my last episode, just to make sure that the floats would lay nicely. But yeah, one sock done, and it looked horrible when it was done. It had been taken around with me. I had been knitting on it everywhere. Peter had been knitting on it. We went to an event this weekend. There was a lot of wait time, and yeah, he grabbed my sock, worked a couple of rounds. He learned how to knit in school, obviously, but hasn't done anything since then. But I think maybe I can get him to take up knitting. I hope. That would be absolutely wonderful. But yeah, the sock looked not good. So I gave it a nice long bath. I was a little bit afraid of the red and white, just because red is a notorious bleeder. But nothing happened. The yarn didn't bleed, even just a little bit. It was absolutely perfect. And I have sock number 2 going. I also had that going last week because I wanted to make sure that I always had something easy. On sock number 2, I'm working the color work. So it's not easy right now. It's not out and about knitting, but I think I'm just gonna get past the color work, and then I will have an easy project to bring around with me. The yarn that I'm using is the designer's own yarn line that were by Maki. It is a non-superwash sock yarn. It says 75/25, and I have only good things to say about this. It is so much easier for me to work with because it's not slippery. It's not rustic per se, but it does have just a little bit of grip, which makes it so much easier, especially for the color work. So yeah, enjoying this project a lot. Now I want to get past the color work so that I have some easy in the round knitting for when we're out and about. I was just pulling up my sleeve and remembering I didn't even tell you what I'm wearing today. I am wearing my cat number 7. This is a long sleeve version that I knit in some Dobbs alpaca. It is so warm, even though it's very thin and light and drapey. So warm, so cozy, so nice. I love this thing. I also knit a long sleeve version in Cascade Heritage, which has a lot of the same properties. Just this easy to wear sweater that you can layer under a coat or over a shirt. And yeah, I just love my cat number 7s. I have what, 4 or 5 of them. Anyway, the other project is in this bag that I also mentioned the last time from the Cotton Stash. It's this time of year, it feels Christmassy to me. I'm sure that come fall next year, I'm gonna say, no, this is very fall colors, because it kind of is, but it's also Christmassy. And inside I have a Christmas sweater. It was not born as a Christmas sweater. This is the Old Timer Slipover by Ina Regnbo. So originally it has color work bands over the chest and over the body. I decided to make it one color and then just finish off the body with one round of Christmassy color work. And originally I was gonna go with a little Nisse that Ina had drawn that she used on another sweater. If you want to see it, you can go back to the last episode. I link it. But I have changed my mind because when I have a sweater with color work on the bottom of the body, I want to make sure that the balance and the proportions are going to be right. I am so short-waisted, like ridiculously short-waisted. So if I put in nisser, they were kind of tall. I was afraid that the balance would be off. The color work would come too close to my chest, which I don't like that look. So instead, I'm going to put some reindeer that I found in a drops pattern. I'm going to put a photo, I think, so that you can see the little reindeer. They're only 10 rounds, so that is going to be fine. But yeah, I really love working on this one. It does have an European shoulder, which means that it is just a little bit, it's not as easy to just pick up and go as your round yoke or raglan sweaters, but the fit is wonderful. The fit is absolutely wonderful. It does, of course, mean that you work flat until you're past the sleeve openings, arm openings. What do you call that? I'm sure you know what I mean. Where your sleeve is going to be attached later. You work flat. Usually when I work flat, I will have a slightly smaller needle tip for the purl rows and the needle tip that I get gauged with for the knit rows, just because my purl stitches are looser than my knit stitches. That was not practical here. I could have made it, but then I would have had to have 2 sets of needles, because this is knit on a 5.5 millimeter, which is the first size that uses the thick, heavy cords in the Jiaogu set. And I am obviously working on my Jiaogu. So yeah, I couldn't, but I think I managed. It looks okay. I was paying a lot of attention to my pearls, trying to just strangle them a little bit, giving them that little extra tuck. But I also, she does mention that you can, once you are done with the yoke portion, you can try the sweater on and you can then make a decision about your neckline. It does have a rather open boat neck. That is not a good look on me. So I just went down a needle size. And something else I did, and I don't even know if that's going to be visible. Can you see up here that the 2x2 ribbing, it goes into a 2x1 ribbing for the very last rounds? I did that on both sides just to make sure that it would lay nicely, not stand up, because I didn't want the collar band to stand up. But yeah, I am getting really close to the little reindeer and I am really looking forward to knitting those. But that is not gonna be my priority, because Advent season is gonna be upon us really, really soon. And I need to figure out what to do for my Advent knitting and crochet. I mean, obviously, I know that I'm going to be making a sweater and a blanket. That's what I've been doing for years and years. The sweater is going to be my Amaryllis. I see so many people downloading the free pattern. I am going to link it just in case you haven't heard. My Christmas or my Advent sweater for this year, I'm offering it for free. It's free download on my website. I'm gonna link that and everything else that I talk about in the description box below. But I'm gonna be making that. But for the blanket, I don't know. I'm not sure. I have all year been thinking that the blanket that I wanted to make for Advent should be a ripple stitch blanket that was built on a row of granny squares. So I would work up some granny squares, place them like diamond shaped, and then work the ripple stitch over those. if that's the blanket that I'm going to be making, I want to work the granny squares now. I want to work the first couple of rows just so that I have something that is going to be easy for me to pick up, because the first week of December is that there's going to be stuff happening. I want something really easy to just pick up and work on without having to spend a lot of brain power. So that's going to be my priority, is going to be figuring out what blanket I want to make in December and getting it started so that come December 1st, it's going to be easy peasy. And speaking about December, I am going to be doing Vlogmas again this year. It's, for sure, Vlogmas is a lot of work. I'm not going to lie, it's a lot of work recording every day, always being on the lookout for things to record, and then all of the editing. But it is so much fun. And it really adds to my Christmas joy to be making these little videos. Probably it's not going to be an everyday thing this year. Especially some of those that come out in the weekends can be a bit much. We typically have full weekends in December, so maybe some of the videos are going to be multiple days lumped into one video. Also, I'm going to do what I did last year. Once a week, my Vlogmas episode is going to be more like a podcast, regular podcast, where I'll do a roundup of all of the things that I've been working on in the past week. Just because I know that some of you don't really enjoy the vlog style videos. So I want to make sure that there is some content for everyone during December. I haven't decided on a specific day that the podcast episode is going to come out, but I will make sure in the title of the Vlogmas to let you know this is the weekly roundup, so that you have a chance to catch up without of all of the Christmassy cooking, baking, going out, doing stuff, wrapping presents, all of the little things that make up Christmas and of course make up the regular Vlogmas. That was it for the creative content this week. A really, really short episode, but I wanted to record. I needed to record. Making these videos, and this is going to sound crazy, but it feels like adding control rods to the happy chaos that is my creative brain. Sitting down, chatting with all of you, forces me to stop, to just hit pause for a second, to look at my projects, to think and rethink. I really enjoy these little weekly resets. I am so happy that you're here for it. The community around these videos, around the channel, it means the world to me. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again on Monday for Vlogmas Day 0.